luxury of self-destruction to be self-aware. Why my malfunctions into this reverse? Smile, I walk to get a drink from the machine. Why my malfunctions? The luxury of self-destruction to be self-aware.
Hi everyone, I'm Jaimme Lee, 11 Australia's global brand artist, and I am so excited. The next hour, I'm going to be taking you through my favorite products. I'm going to be taking you through 2 beautiful styles on my beautiful models. But before we get into it, let's kind of talk about maybe who I am for those that don't know me, and about my brand aesthetic. So my name is Jaimme Lee, and I've been working with the company for almost 10 years now, which I just absolutely love and adore the brand so much. I'm also currently WA's Northern Territory Hairdresser of the Year, which I am so proud to say out loud. And I think if you have been following me, you know my brand aesthetic very clearly. If you have a look at my Instagram, I think it speaks for itself. My Instagram is very clean, beautiful, and I love hair to look like hair. So that's what I really want to take you guys through today. Also, I think, you know, with our TikTok evolving at the moment, it's been so amazing to see everyone commenting and liking and sharing all the beautiful, beautiful work that we've been doing. So before we get into it, I'm going to just introduce my beautiful assistant, Billy. She's going to be helping me today. So if you see a hand here and there or asking me a question, Billy's going to be with me today for the next hour. So let's get into it, okay? This is my beautiful model, and I'm going to be showing you my favorite look from a campaign I did in the south of France, which I was so lucky enough to be part of. And I got to work on the beautiful Ashton, as you guys can see. So I really wanted to showcase you this look today and how I created it using my favorite product. So if you guys have any questions, please let me know. I love to share all my knowledge because I absolutely love this industry and I'm so proud to be a part of it. So I have gone in and prepped the hair always with the Miracle Hair Treatment because I want to protect it against any heat, UVA and UVB, which is really important. And then I've gone through and applied the Sea Salt Texture Spray. This is a really, really good product to start and prep with the hair before you blow dry. I also love to use the I Want Body Volume Foam. These products together create such a good foundation for your hairstyles to last, especially when I was working with Ashton on this look. I really wanted to make sure that no matter how long we were shooting for, any type of environment that comes my way, I had it sorted. So those are always my go-to products when creating a look like this. Now, I have gone through and blow dried each section, working around on the curvature of the head. I've also gone through after setting it in a roller, double tonguing it. Again, I wanted to make sure it will last throughout the entire day, especially when we are on location. You have to consider wind, sun, and all of those factors. So I'm going to go through and I'm going to take out each of my roller, and then I'm going to be using the flexible hold hairspray. And this is my favorite product because I want to show you guys that you can really build and layer the products. And that's something that I just love about the brand so much as well. So I'm going to go through and start taking them out. But if you guys have any questions for me, please let me know. I love doing hair and I'm just super proud to be a part of this industry. All right. Gorgeous. Here we go. And then you just let me know if anything's perfect. Yeah. Just, oh my God, it's staying so well. Babe, just you waved. So like I said to you, like it's all about foundation. So making sure you're applying the product before you even start is going to just make sure and give it longevity as well. Beautiful. Thank you. when I was working on Ashton's hair for the photo shoot, we were very short for time. So I created this look super early in the morning because we wanted to get to the location as quick as we could. And when we were on the way, actually, my beautiful bestie, who's a designer, was like, so do you think we could take this out in the car? And as soon as we get out, I was like, absolutely. So there's an actual video of me taking like all of Ashton's rollers out in the car. And, you know, if you've ever worked on a location, you kind of have to be prepared for anything. So I had all my products, I had done all my prep, and I was kind of like just praying to the gods. I'm like, please make sure when I take these rollers out, especially in a car where I have no power, that it was going to stay. And it was honestly, as soon as we got out of the car and I took the rollers out and I saw that photo that we popped on the screen, I was like, it was perfect. And it lasted all day as well. So that's really nice. How do you get that bounce to last all day? So as you witnessed today, always prepping the hair. I think, you know, prepping the hair is always key. So think about like setting your foundation. You know how we do our makeup? We do like moisturizer and primer. Yes. The same thing applies to your hair. And I think that's something that I'm really keen on educating, because I feel like a lot of people just think it's all about just going straight in with your tong. However, it's like anything. If your hair's been dirty for a couple of days, you haven't washed your hair correctly, you do really need to take it back. And it starts from like, you know, your shampoo, conditioner, like when you're washing your hair, which is really cool. And that's what I love to educate people on. And then, you know, using the right product. So using the sea salt texture spray is going to give you all of that hydration, which I absolutely love, but it's also all about giving you a bit of texture within the hair. Now, the volume foam, which is probably one of my favorite products, it's all about giving you the volume, but the products, when they lay together, is just, I mean, you'll feel it in your hair. It's really light, it's really airy. And I think that's, you know, part of my aesthetic is like making hair look like hair. And that's what I love about using 11 Australia, is because it complements each of my styles. So to answer your question, it is all about your prep wear. We did double set your hair today, which means blow drying it, drying that product and getting in the shape, but then actually going back in with a tong and resetting it. Yeah. It just means if you walk out of here today and you want your hair to last until tomorrow morning, I've got you. But this is looking absolutely beautiful. So the one key thing that I really love to show is, as you can see, instead of doing one back, which will give you that really beautiful volume at the front. However, if you've ever done it, you've probably noticed that one side always sits better than the other. Mm-hmm. So are you nodding because this has happened to you? Yes. Perfect. So as you can see, I've separated into two, and always making sure this one is going off the face, so it's really flattering. And then when you take this out, you can see how beautiful that shapes that face. And I always love to open this area when I'm doing these types of styles, because I just think it's really flattering.
It just creates that like effortless kind of like bounce to it.
Yeah. Like you just woke up and your hair's like,
literally.
Yeah. And, you know, for people that don't use hairspray or don't like to use hairspray, the flexible hold hairspray from 11 is so workable that you've seen that I've applied quite a lot, but I am so easily able to just brush this out with ease, and you won't have that, you know, that kind of sticky feeling that maybe you're scared to use hairspray with. Gorgeous. Okay, close your eyes for me, babe. So I really like to spray with purpose. So whenever I am applying product, I always want to make sure that I'm spraying with purpose. So like I said, I really want to open this area. So I'm going to spray right in there because I want that to be really beautiful. And then same with this side, I always come to the opposite side and I use my hand and I almost just really mold the hair where I want it to be. And as you can see, that creates that really beautiful pinch in the middle and opens up her face just absolutely gorgeous. Oh my God, it looks so good already. Now what I like to do is just pop your head slightly back. So I don't love to brush a big blowout out too much. However, I do think you still need to understand how to dress it out. because some people are quite scared that it's going to drop. So I really like to use my hands and I give the head back a little bit more back. And I like to just give it a little bit of a shake. So give your hair like a little bit of a shake. Beautiful. Now this is just going to get rid of any little part lines. And then a little key and a little tip for you is using the dry finish texture spray from 11 Australia. Again, another one of my favorite products. And the reason why is because it's going to expand the hair. And when I'm educating and working with the products, I always love to kind of encourage people to understand the why of the product. So this is going to expand the hair. If you ever want to bring something in, bring the hair in, there's another product for you, which I will show you later. So put your head slightly back. How are we looking, Bill? Gotcha. Now, just slowly bring your head forward for me. So keep it back for me, darling. And then I want you to bring it forward for me. Beautiful. So can you see how much there's so much air in the hair? And it's still looking really full, but it's really styled as well. And then to finish off, I love to spray the flexible hold hairspray. Now, again, being on a photo shoot, this is a great, check my styling brush. Perfect. This is a great opportunity for you to use the Make Me Shine Spray Gloss. So this is a perfect product to finish on. It's great because it's got an anti-humectic, which is again great if we're on location. For whatever reason, there's humidity in the air. I know this is always going to look after it. The other thing that I love to mention is this product makes it look like really expensive. So really shiny, really luxury as well. So it's a perfect product to finish on. And it's really nice and light as well. So it's not going to weigh your hair down at all.
Oh my God, that smells so nice.
Yeah, and it also smells really good as well. Every time I spray a product in the salon, and Bill, you'll agree, everyone's like, oh my God, the product smells so good. And it's because they do. And then again, when you see any like, I guess more of a drier area, this is where I like to come in and just really define each strand. Because then if you're either on camera or you're taking, you know, a photo, it will just really make these pieces just really pop and stand out. Perfect. And then say if my model says, I'm actually going to go get my makeup done, my little hack for that is using these little surfboard clips, which I absolutely love. And I will always pin them in place for each of my model. And the reason why is because I want to make sure that I'm keeping the style and they're not just tucking it behind their ear. So when they go and get their makeup done, or if, I don't know if you've ever had this, you need to do all your makeup, but then you go and tuck it. And then this kind of shape just changes. So I think it's really important to clip, again, with purpose and keep in mind the end result. So I'm just going to give you a bit more of a spray. Beautiful. Gorgeous. What do you think, my darling? Do you love?
Love. I just love how it's still like, I feel like there's thickness in my hair still. And so
have a feel of it as well. So remember, the most important thing that I love to kind of let you guys know, especially, is the product is really air. So I still want your hair to feel like hair. That's the beauty about these products. And I have layered and layered these products to really kind of test the boundaries. And I just love that I can kind of run my fingers through it and you still get all this expansion in the hair. And I could keep expanding it as well, guys. That's the beauty about it, is if I wanted to make this bigger, I could keep kind of using my hands and I could make this as big and bigger. But what I am going to do, we are going to go and let you just sit and relax. I'm going to keep those clips in. And if there's time, I'm going to show you how I quickly put this up in under 5 minutes for that really effortless style kind of updo that everyone's kind of seeing at the moment. So thank you, my gorgeous girl. I'm going to go let you sit and I'm just going to get my other model, Jade. Come on in. So my next model actually shares the same name as me. So we're both Jays. This is Jay.
Hi.
I have been working with Jay's hair for so long. I have taken her blonde, I have taken her dark, I've taken her red, I've taken her short, and her hair has just continued to keep growing and it just looks absolutely amazing.
Yes.
So what I'm going to be taking you through is my second look. This is one of my looks that I get asked all the time. Oh yeah, that's what you're getting today. Yeah.
Love it.
So I'm going to break down exactly how I create this look. And I think the beauty of this is I want to make sure you guys take away really all of the easy tips, because I feel like when people look at this, they're like, oh my God, I don't know where to start. I'm going to break it down for you. Well, okay, I'm going to literally teach you how to do this on your stuff, because it's really easy. It's what I've done with my hair today. So I love that. Gorgeous. So the first tip is always making sure, like if you can guys see it on the picture that's up, is creating that first triangle section. And it's amazing because say if your client or yourself, you don't want to leave those bits out, that is like the perfect place for them to be if you want to put them up. And I can teach you how to do that as well. So we'll get our middle part in. And the best way to create your triangle section, and if you don't really know where to start, or if you've just started hairdressing, again, let's not complicate things. Let's make it really easy for you guys, especially for those that are watching that aren't hairdressers and you really love this style. I think, utilizing the 11 Australia products, I think their core kind of values, it doesn't need to be complicated. It just needs to work. And that's how I like to take into consideration when I'm doing hairdressing as well. So what you can always look at is when you're looking at the face, is just going from the end to the brow, and that's going to create a really beautiful triangle. Another really great way to do it, if you don't know, can I have my cutting comb? And this is really good for if you're creating fringes on the salon floor. Using your cutting comb is from the end of the brow, just rock your comb. So therefore you can really see exactly where you need to section, and also where your section will land is exactly where the flattest part of the head is. So if you can see when you put a comb on the top of the head, where it's flat is exactly where your sectioning should be. So that's a little tip for you. Got them all.
I have two concerns that I would love to chat about.
Okay, talk to me. What's your concern?
Concern number one is I try not to wash my hair too often.
Yeah.
As you've instructed me.
Yes.
However, because of the line of work that I do, I feel like it is very greasy.
Yeah. So what should you do?
Yeah, but then also my other concern, which I think links in with it, is that I have extremely a sensitive scalp and very flaky and dry.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's all
connected.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So like Jay said, she's like, what should I be using? What should I be doing? When I hear this from clients, I kind of like to break it down and think of it as like individual things. So what do I need to kind of like cater?
Yeah.
And again, like you said, you don't want to be washing your hair every day, because we all know that natural oils are really good for the scalp, which is really important. But there is definitely some key like products that you could introduce. The first one that I'm just going to touch on, which I know has found, like for myself, is a bit of a game changer, is using the detangular spray. And the reason why I say using the detangular spray, it's got yarrow and nettle, which is really good for your scalp.
Okay.
So we could also introduce, say, like, a deep clean because of your line of work. You want to make sure that you're giving it a really good cleanse. So again, if you're not washing it all the time, you do need to make sure you're doing 2 shampoos and making sure you're really lathering it up as well. So you're not kind of going in it like this. You want to kind of like massage that part, especially if you are a little bit sensitive. So I always love to recommend that you go on with like a deep clean, which I think would be perfect for your scalp. And also that kind of brings me to this look, like using a really good shampoo after you're having your hair up style is really key, because if you're putting product in your hair, you want to make sure you're removing any excess product that's left in the hair as well, which can then also lead to sometimes be a little bit flaky or a little bit sensitive as well. So definitely let's get you on the deep clean from 11 Australia. It is such an incredible shampoo. Again, it's not going to strip the hair. It doesn't have any of those nasties in there because we're sulfate-free and paraben-free, which is also really great for the hair. And then introducing the detangular sprayer will be a bit of a game changer. And some people don't realize that you don't need to have knotty hair to use it. It's really good because the ingredients are all naturally derived. So they're always going to be looking after your best interest. Does that help?
Yeah, that does help.
Amazing. And then even just finishing off, like if you feel like your hair's dry, especially we live in a really hot climate in WA, in Australia, using the Hydrate Me conditioner would be like incredible. Yeah. There you go. So guys, I've just sectioned out my 2 front triangle section, which I'm just going to put with my little surfboard clips. I'm just going to pin them up. Now, Jay, would you mind at the end of this if we cut these a little bit shorter?
I don't mind at all.
Okay, great. So that is something that I always say if I am recommending leaving these 2 front pieces out. I just find if I'm doing a style like this, I just don't want them to be too long. So I'll always style first, and then if I feel the need to cut, I'll always just ask my beautiful clients if it's okay. So now these 2 pieces are sectioned out. As you can see, I've got a really nice triangle section. My next step is to make sure that I'm getting a really, really nice angle. So the best way to kind of use, especially if you haven't worked with many Upstyles before, again, I want to make it really easy and not complicated. The 2 points that I always look for is either the cheekbone or the jaw. So these 2 points are where you could pull the hair is going to really make sure it's really flattering on anyone that you're working on. So I always like to look at the face and be like, okay, cool, we're going to use the jaw and we're going to snatch and pull up, which is really flattering. Anywhere in between, if you've ever done this before, if maybe you've worn your hair in a low, it will kind of pull you down. Yeah. So always using, it's not making sense now. So using the cheekbone or the jaw is a really good way to start. So I'm going to go through, I know, right? Change up, seriously. Okay. So I'm going to be using the jaw and I'm going to section my front section.
How do you know which one is better though? The jaw or the cheek?
Depends on how you want to go.
Okay.
Yeah. So they're both going to snatch you and pull you up, but it's really kind of depending on how high you want it to.
So if you want it like quite high, you go from the lower part?
You'd go from your cheekbone because that's going to then sit higher.
Oh,
yeah. So we're going to work with jaw because I want to really pull this towards your face, which is really nice. It's going to be like a facelift for her today. Yeah. It's really tight. Good. Yeah. And I'll just have a clip. So have we got any questions?
Yeah, we actually do.
Hit me with a question, Billy.
What is trending at the moment in your salon, like upstyle?
Oh, great question. For those that you don't know, Billy does work in my salon. She's a principal senior and she's been with me for 5 years. So I feel like you can tag on in this and help me with this one if I don't answer, or there's something that maybe you're doing in the salon. But for me, in terms of like upstyling, are you talking about? Yeah. So for me, upstyling, I think we've definitely seen a huge trend of, you know, your Pamela Anderson, that really kind of done look. But I do believe, you know, like nothing beats something really slick and clean. So this is why I really wanted to demonstrate this look to you today, because I think there's nothing that beats this, but also it's so versatile. So when we have clients come into the salon and they're, you know, definitely looking for info on our Instagram or our TikToks, I always like to tell them that, you know, you could do this really slick, but then you can have the top really textured. So there is definitely one look that I'm finding, which again, if we have time, I'll show you, is that beautiful kind of, it's almost like that play on like a French roll. You know, I think we've done it for a lot of weddings and a lot of photo shoots that we're working on, which is really cool. But again, you could still keep this really nice and slick and then do that really beautiful French roll, but keep it a little bit more textured or undone. But then it's like really pulling you in because I think everyone likes to feel snatched. So
A bit of both.
a bit of both. But yeah, would you say the same, Bill?
Yeah, I reckon. I think definitely something like soft, but a little bit snatched at the same time.
Yeah.
And wants a bit of both.
A bit of both, yeah. Yeah, okay. So what I'm just doing now, Jay, I'll just get you to turn your head. So I've created my section from her jaw, which is going all the way up to the top of the crown area. Now, again, because I like to work very cleanly, I find if you're working really clean sections, you're a little bit faster at what you do, and I don't get too kind of overwhelmed. So again, don't want to complicate things. I want to make this really easy. So with this bottom section that is eventually going to be left out, I love to use a small elastic, and I'm just going to tie this off. So this is exactly how I did my hair today, because I find when you are working on the top section and you have this down, it's just there's too much hair in the way, right? And then you don't want to pull from your section, and you want to keep your lines really nice and clean as well. So by using just a small elastic, clipping this away is just going to make your life a little bit easier. So now we have 2 sections, 3 including our triangle. So then you can let this go. And you know that if you drop this, because your hand gets too sore, it's never going to get confused with the bottom. So it makes it really, really easy. Now,
That's a sleigh.
that's a slab. Now, my favorite tip at the moment that I would love to share with you guys, and Billy, be my assistant, is I am going to be using the 11 Australia large styling brush, and I'm going to be using a combination of different products to slick this. But one of the game-changing things that I've been doing lately with most of our Upstyles is using volume foam but putting on a styling brush. So I'm going to demonstrate exactly how to do it. So just give me perfect. So instead of using my hands, I'm using the I Want Body volume foam, and I'm going to demonstrate just how easy it is to push this into the hair. And this is a great product to use for snatching your hair out really nice and slick. And see how easy that went up? Let's get some more. And I'm not afraid to use a lot of product. And I think because I have tested absolutely every combination, I'm not afraid, and I know how far I can push it. Yeah. I also love to mix my cocktail products as well. So for like my curly hair clients, I love to use my Smooth and Shine serum with the Miracle Hair treatment. And using those combos together is really, really beautiful to create a defined curl. Thank you. Defined curl, but also making sure there's no frizz. So if you can see, this is getting really nice and slick, and my hands aren't messy, which is a bit of a game changer.
I have a question.
Tell me, Billy, what's your question?
Can you go quite heavy with the products?
Absolutely. Have you seen how many pumps of products I'm putting in this out?
It doesn't feel gritty or anything.
Yeah, no.
Will it get my baby hairs because they're quite
Stubborn.
very stubborn?
Yeah, well, I have another product for that.
Okay.
So I am going to really layer this product. Again, I love to layer the product. So the first product that I've used is the volume foam, and then I'm going to be using the Slick Hold Pomade. That's where I'm going to get these little baby hairs. Also, yeah, we all love this product. So again, putting the volume foam first as your base is a really good foundation before you use your Slick pomade. All right, now Billy, can I please get you to grab the pomade for me? I think it's just behind me, but beautiful. So this is the Slick pomade, which I absolutely love and adore. And we're going to really focus on, if you can see, is all those little baby hairs. Now, I actually love using this product for my eyebrows as well. So a nice little hack is if you've got any brows that you do want to gel up, this is my go-to. I know, right? See, instantly, they're gone.
It smells so nice.
I know, it smells amazing. again, they all just smell so good. Beautiful. It's so shiny. Okay. If you don't want to use your hands, a really good tip is using, like, say, a sponge that you maybe wash the dishes with. Just cut a small amount and you can just kind of sponge it in. Or if you are a hairdresser, you can use a tip brush, which is also another little tip that I always like to put in my toolkit.
Mhm.
Okay. So I'll just see if I need any more. Maybe just a little bit more. And you'll see that I'm using my styling brush first, and then I'm going to go straight in with a comb. And the reason why is because I always say your styling brush will remove any, like kind of lumps and bumps.
Mm-hmm.
And then your comb is kind of going to blemish it as well. So it's always nice to kind of get rid of it and then polish it off.
Mm-hmm.
And the key to this is making sure that this is really tight. So your hand is always sitting on top of their head. My hand is also really at base. So you never want to have your hand up, because then what you'll find is when you tie it off, it's not going to be as snatched. Gorgeous. Okay, now Billy, let's use the hat elastic today. So pull against me when I kind of, yeah. Now, yeah, she looks good, right? Yeah. Are you going to do anything to that? You have to, guys.
No, yeah.
So I like to always tie off with hat elastic, which is almost like a crafts elastic that you can just buy from any craft store. And I am going to get the beautiful Billy to tie off for me today. However, there has definitely been times when I am in situations where I need to learn how to tie off by myself as well, which if you guys do have any questions after this and you kind of want me to make a video of that, I'd absolutely love to. So please ask, but once you get it all into position, Billy, if you want to show everyone what we're using. So we've got some really stretchy hat elastics, so give it a good stretch. Perfect. Yeah. So the key to this is for you to have your tension really, really tight. And it will feel really tight when we first do it, but then it will loosen up. So I always just like to make clients know that it's going to be really tight. And then once we loosen it, okay, perfect. Right. So I'm really, really happy with that. I'm just going to grab my tail comb and make sure there's no lumps or bumps.
So good.
Looks good. Now I could keep brushing for days and days to get this really slick and snatched, but I'm really happy with that. All right, Billy. So Billy is going to come from over the top and you're going to keep that tension in the middle, pull it as tight as possible. Perfect. And if you can wrap maybe twice and then tie off on the bottom. So as you can see, she's crossing over at the top and the bottom. And she's going to tie off on the bottom. And then when we cut it, we won't see any of the hat elastic. Gorgeous. There you go. She's good. Yeah, we can cut it as bad boys. So when we cut it, we just stretch it as far as we can and then just cut. Yep, perfect. Beautiful. There we are. So there we have it. Feel good? Ooh, beautiful. Now, for whatever reason, if you tie it off and you're like, there's a bump, it's okay. Don't go and brush your comb through it. The best advice I can give you is using your tail comb, and then you're going to put your tail comb wherever the lump and the bumps are and just push it through. So do you want to get a bit closer actually, Jay? Come as close as you can. Perfect. Lean your head in and go. I mean, it's so slick anyway, but I'm going to show you guys. So you're just going to pop your tail comb in and you're going to go close to the scalp and you're just going to drag that hair back. It's a great tip for you to ever get rid of any lumps and bumps without ruining the whole thing or taking it out, which a lot of people tend to do as well. Beautiful. Now that this is up really nice and neat, I'm so happy with the angle. It's really nice and slick. Let's cover the hat elastic, which I think is really important. So I'm going to grab a small amount of hair. I always say less is more. You never want something too thick. And we are going to use, do you want to turn the tone off for me? And I'm going to be using the flexible hold hairspray from 11 Australia. And I'm going to use this as almost like a glue, essentially. So I'm going to demonstrate how I do it. You want to grab your small piece of hair. And you're going to ensure that the hair is completely saturated. Beautiful. And we're going to wrap this all the way around until there is no hair left. And you can see that I've still got my two pretty tails at the bottom. Beautiful. Now I'm going to be using a tong, and I am going to pop some heat on it to create it to stay without using a bobby pin. Magic. It is magic. So by just using a bit of heat around it, will create a glue-like. If someone was going out though for longevity, I'll still put a bobby pin in, but this is a really great way to use that product and heat activation to make sure everything is really nice and smooth. So I can let go and it will completely stay. Now I'm going to bobby pin it for security. So again, if you do have a client going out, just maybe make sure it's bobby pinned. Okay. And when you pop your tiny little bobby pin in, you want to make sure it's completely hidden in there. Beautiful. Now I'm just going to push through. That's okay. Good. Gorgeous. Amazing. And we'll keep the tongue up because I'll give this a bit of a smooth. Beautiful. So before I move on to my sections, we're going to take our little front pieces out. And I'm just going to give it a little bit of a trim. Okay, so I think it would be really flattering if we just kind of take this corner off. So it's just below the jaw for you. Is that okay with you? Yeah, beautiful. Amazing. So always just kind of always talk to your client and make sure they're happy with it, as long as they can still tie it up if that's what they would like. And then I'm just going to take these little baby ends off. Gosh, see the difference of like one being really long and then just having something a little bit more cleaner. I think it just really changes the whole look compared to having this really long strand. Yeah, it really does. And it's honestly just these little bits. Really fun. Now, this is the perfect position if your client was to say, actually, I've changed my mind. I don't want these pieces out anymore. That is completely fine. All you have to do, and this is what I love to do when people say they want to keep that middle part, but it's really hard to keep that middle part if you're trying to do it all in once. You lose your middle part. So if they say to you, hey, I really want these pieces out, that's completely fine. Do the same technique that you've done using your arm and body volume foam, and you're just going to slowly comb it back into the hair and using the same technique using the hat elastic. That way you never lose your middle part, which is a great little tip for you. Perfect.
So you just add another elastic on top?
Yeah, just you can keep using elastic. If that was the case, I wouldn't have applied the hair around your ponytail, but at least it's a really easy way just to keep adding hat elastic to it. Now I'm going to go through and I'm just going to create some curvature just around here. But before I do this, I always love to use my Arm Body Texture Spray. This is another favorite product of mine. Think that it's got, you know, the powder from 11 Australia mixed with sea salt texture spray. So when it's met with heat, it creates like a force and it will hold everything for as long as possible. So it's a really great product, but you do need to make sure you give it a shake as well, because if not, you'll have powder and the liquid. So you want to make sure they're mixed in perfectly. So I just want to go through and give that a spritz. Beautiful. And then can I please have the comb as well? And all I'm going to want to do is I think I'm just going to curve it under just to really complement her face. And again, you could do this with a straightener. My personal preference is just creating it with a tong because it's already got the roundness to it. Beautiful. Thank you, Gorge. I love this.
I think this is the hairdo. Like this could be.
This is it. I mean, you could totally keep the toe ponytail. I mean, that's the beauty about hair. It's so creative, and I absolutely love it because from one idea becomes another idea. And I think that is something that I definitely kind of put my headspace in when I was doing my collection for my awards, is I would kind of find one photo and then it would keep building and keep building. So it's just so beautiful of it. And then it evolved, which is really cool. So now I've just taken out the back ponytail and you have a complete look. But to finish this off, let's do exactly what we've done with these front pieces. Let's give this a bit more curvature. Let's make it a bit more polished as well for her. So, thank you, Gorge. How are we going? Is there any questions? Are we loving the styles? Do you want to know more? Perfect. All right. So again, just going in with my tongue. Thank you, Gorge. And just picking up the ends and just really curving it over. Beautiful.
Do you prefer a tong or a straightener, Jaimme?
Oh, if I'm doing my AHFA WA, you know that I'm a tong girly. But if I am creating an S bend, which is more of that kind of rippled effect, have to use a straightener. Have to use a straightener. But I think every hair type is so different. And, you know, some people's hair don't hold as well with a straightener compared to a tong. So I think, again, going back to like, you know, what products to use and what tools to use, the same thing applies. You have to make sure that you have looked at the hair type, what does it need, will it hold, and go from there.
I feel like that's my hair doesn't hold.
I've never had that issue with you though.
Oh really?
I feel like every time I've done your hair, maybe maybe when you're at home doing your own hair.
I'm not a pro. I'm not like you. You need to come see me every day.
I do.
I should.
No, I can help you.
So
So see how beautiful and polished that looks? Like for me, this is like my everyday kind of look. Like I absolutely
we're
love it.
matching.
We are matching. But again, let's take it to the next level. We want to make sure everything is really polished. So let's finish off with a bit of hairspray. Open up the cheekbones. Gosh, how are we going for time? Oh, amazing. I might be able to do a little quick one too after. Give you a little something, something. And then again, I'm just going to finish off with the Make Me Shine spray, just to ensure that nothing is going to get frizzy when she leaves my salon. Beautiful. Now, if you do finish off and you're like, oh, there's some little baby hairs that I know that are just going to bother me, another great tip, you can go back in with your slick hold pomade. However, a great little tip is using your dry wax. So dry wax is a perfect product to use. Say you've done everything, you've done your slick hold, but you don't really want to go in with something that's a pomade. Finishing off with the dry wax, again, is the product that's going to bring everything in. So give it a good spritz, just in those little areas, right? And again, this is a product that you can add heat to it, which I love doing. Even with your blow dryer, if you've got that really stubborn hair and you go through and you're like, oh, I'm just not going to be able to get this up, use the dry wax and use a bit of heat. It is a game changer.
I have a question.
Oh, come on, tell me, Billy.
If you don't want that like real wet look,
Yes.
what product would you use? But still want like a slick look at the same time, but don't want it to be wet looking.
Yeah. So Billy's question was, you want it to be slick, snatch, but not wet looking. So a bit more of a drier finish.
Yeah.
Beautiful. So if you're still wanting it to be slick, in my head instantly, I'm going to my Iron Body texture spray. And the reason is because it's got those two combinations of powder and that texture in it. So it's a really good way to put on dry hair to give you that grit, but it's going to really pull it in. Would you agree with me?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, amazing. All right, so I am really happy with this look. How are you feeling, Jay?
Yeah, I love it.
Do you love it?
I love it.
It looks good, and it's not too uncomfortable.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
I wish I could recreate
Ooh,
this.
I mean, it looks like you've just done it yourself, which is amazing. Gorgeous. But you know, if you wanted to, you could always, like, I love a little top moment. You could keep one, and then kind of keep one top, which I think is really cool. However, like I said, if you really wanted to be like, Jay, I want this gone, it is so simple to pull it back, which is really nice. Little tip for you guys. There we are. What do you guys think? Do you want to give us a little turn, babe, so you can show everyone? Yeah. Amazing. And then you can always just finish off with your turn to the back for me, babe. And give it a really nice shine. So you can see all that shine in the hair, and it's really nice and airy, which I absolutely love. Gorgeous. Beautiful. Amazing. Thank you, Jar. You're welcome. Thank you, gorgeous girl. Now, I've got a little bit of time, so Greg, you can quickly come back in here, and we're just going to show you something really quick, simple, and then I'm pretty much done. I'm going to bring my model back. All right. Now, like I said, I'm going to show you a quick tip on how to put something up. It is, you know, my final look for today before I leave you guys, but it's something that I'm really doing a lot of, and it's just a really simple technique that you guys can do. Or if, you know, a client comes in, or if you are running late to go out and you really need to just pop your hair up really simple and quick, this is the product and the products that you're going to be using. So we're going to use, God, it looks good, doesn't it? I love how the front is sitting. Okay, if you love the front, let's leave the front pieces out because I feel like that's really flattering for you. So again, let's use that triangle section. I'm going to keep these pieces out. Okay. Now, because I know that I've layered all the products, for me to put this up is really, really easy. And again, I'm going to make it look super effortless and look like hair. So Bill, let's use the Iron Body texture spray. So another favorite that's always been my kit. There it is. And I'm just going to go through, just like I spoke about, what's a product that you can use on dry hair that you don't want it to look wet. This is my product. And then Bill, I think let's put it in an elastic, which I think would be gorgeous. And I'm going to do that take on that French roll. So quick little one too. Now, darling, I'm going to get you to spin just slightly so everyone can see. If you can't see, guys, let me know. But this is going to be. So for me, this is like what we call, you know, very much your it girl hairstyle of the moment. And I think it's really unique. And it suits everyone's face shape. Thank you. Beautiful. So once you have your hair into position exactly where, you can see that I'm using almost pop your head up straight. We're using that jaw again, so it's the same technique and the placement. Using my 11 Australia styling brush. Perfect. Now, all I'm going to do is I'm going to, hope you guys can see, so I'm going to twist the hair so it creates, can you see that on your little? Yeah. Perfect. So pop your head up for me, coach. Beautiful. So all I've done is I've done a twist. So therefore you create your bun here and then you have this really beautiful piecey look at the bottom. Now another way you can do it, which is really beautiful, and again, a little tip that I love to use is using your tail comb. So hopefully you guys can see this, but I'm going to put my tail comb in and I'm going to wrap and twist my tail comb. So it's the same technique using your hands, but instead you're using a tail comb, which is really cool. All right. So I'm going to do that once more for you guys. Gorgeous. And then let's pin it up. And then that's how quick and simple it is. And then I love to play around with that. And I'm going to be using my U pins to pin it in. Just tell me if that's okay, babe. Yes. Thank you. Still okay? Mm-hmm. Amazing. I mean, 3 pins is more than enough. Okay, and then let's spin back this way. Gorgeous. How are we looking, Bill?
She's gorgeous.
Looking gorgeous. And effortless, right?
I was gonna say like it's kind of like the undone, but done.
You've just your hair up. You've just done this. So now put your head up for me. Now I'm going to be using the dry finish texture spray to finish off because this is again going to expand the hair, which I'm looking for. And you can see how beautiful I can mold the hair. And remember what I've kind of been through today. So I prepped the hair with the I Want Body Volume Foam. I've gone through with the sea salt. I've blow dried those products in. I've used the hairspray. I've used the Make Me Shine. And here I am finishing off today with the dry finish again. So again, to answer those questions about how far you can push it, I've really pushed it today. Okay, close your eyes. Beautiful. And then if you want a little bit of softness around the ear, you can always just grab a little bit of hair and just pull it up. How's that look? Gosh. Beautiful. What do we think, Bill? We love?
I've never seen my front so just like
Perfect. It looks amazing. I mean, you literally just kind of like woke up, pulled your hair out like this. Perfect. Do you want to give your head a little spin, darling? And then we are done. Gorgeous. So you've got a little French roll moment like that. And then at least you can still see the bun from every angle. And I love to kind of keep these pieces out, which is really cool. And you can push them to the side and you can use your dry wax if you want to really push these out a bit more. Beautiful. And then come back to the front for me, Gorge. Gorge. There you are, my gorgeous girl. Thank you. If there's any questions to finish up, but if not, please make sure you message me. It's been so amazing hanging out with you guys for the last hour. I hope you have learned so much. Thank you, Billy. The beautiful Billy assisting me today. We just absolutely love doing hair, and I hope you guys got a lot out of it, especially using the products that we love and adore so much. So thank you guys for spending the hour with me, and we can't wait to see you our next one. Bye. See ya.
The luxury